Hey everybody, my name is Astrid Silva. I am the Executive Director of Dream Big Nevada, an organization here based out of Nevada, where we inform dreamers, give out education on what's happening day to day for us. I myself am undocumented. I arrived here when I was 4 years old and have now had DACA for almost 8 years and currently renewed. So I'm good to go for at least until 2022. I can't do math. But for those of you that have been tuning in, we have a lot of information for you today, as we have now had the statement that we said that we had been waiting for weeks and weeks. And we have immigration attorney Kathia Quiros here with us. Thank you so much for being here with us, Kathia.
My pleasure, even if it's not for the good news, right?
Exactly. Whether the news is good or bad, we have to make sure that our community knows what's the best decisions for them to make. And so we appreciate you being here, especially since it seems we only have you here on breaking news, and you're always willing and ready to be here with us. And thank you so much. As we talked earlier, for those of you that there is on Inmigrando with Spanish, but we're going to focus on English because we do want to make sure that those jurors who don't necessarily speak Spanish or don't navigate the language as well have all the information that they need. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened today, Kathia?
Okay, so the short news is that the Immigration Office has just issued a memo, which is memo means instructions to their immigration officers, telling them if anybody files a new DACA application, you must reject it. Give them their money back. Give them their application back. We're not going to accept new applications. It basically says if any dreamer files for advance parole, which is the permission to travel, reject them, deny them, not deny them, reject them. We're not going to receive their applications unless there is exceptional circumstances, which means reject them. We're not going to do them. And if any dreamer who already has who already is a dreamer, who already has DACA, if any dreamer files to renew DACA, now don't give them an employment authorization for 2 years like you were doing. Now give them only an employment authorization for 1 year. And they're going to have to keep renewing 1 year because basically the memorandum says, we are going to rethink DACA. We're going to review DACA, and we're going to see what we're going to do. Either we're going to rescind it completely, or we don't know. But right now, we don't feel like we can continue with DACA the way it was before President Trump tried to cancel it. So that's the news. Now, I have to give you context, and I have to give you explain to you if this is valid, if this person can really do this, and what's going to happen afterwards, right? That's what you want to know.
Yes, that's what we want to know.
Okay, so the first thing is whoever is doing all of these at the Immigration Office, it's not a real lawyer. It's more of a politician who is helping the president in his campaign. And regardless of whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, the law is not Republican or Democrat. The law is just the law. And so there are several things in this memorandum that are not right. So for that reason, I think that these bad news of today are not going to last very many days. I think we're going to go back to the courts, and a judge is going to have to tell this person who wrote this memo that it's not possible to go against the Supreme Court just because they feel like they need to review something. So that's number one. And there are several reasons that we have right now to go back to court. And some dreamers are asking me, why do we have to go back to court? Doesn't the Supreme Court just said that we could apply again for new DACAs? And the answer is yes. Yes, you're right. The Supreme Court not long ago said the way in which Mr. Trump wanted to cancel DACA was not valid. Therefore, we have to go back to the moment before President Trump tried to cancel DACA, which meant you can apply for new DACAs, you can apply for advanced parole, and you should be treated the same, right? Well, yes, that's true. But when a government office decides to go against the Supreme Court, somebody has to tell that government office that they're wrong, right? And your voice and my voice has no value. It has to be the voice, a voice with authority. And right now, the authority is only in the courts. So that's why we have to go back to court. Not because we want to, not because we're wrong. No, just because somebody has to tell these people, and that person has to have authority. And right now, the authority is only in the courts. So do you understand why we have to go back to court?
Completely. And so one of the questions is, if when we do go back to court, if we're going back to court, as we go back to court, there's so many pending. What does this mean for dreamers who already applied or sent in their DACA?
Okay.
For new DACAs.
Okay. So for those new dreamers who already filed, the good news is you did the right thing. I'm so happy that you filed. You shouldn't be afraid of anything. You did the right thing by filing. And you are going to get a rejection letter. You're going to get probably your packet underneath the rejection letter. Sorry about my accent. I think in Spanish and I translate before I talk.
Go for it.
And you're going to get your money back. So when you get that envelope with everything back, the most important part is that rejection letter, because that rejection letter makes you special, makes you a part of a class of people who applied for DACA in reliance of the Supreme Court decision, which means I applied for DACA because the Supreme Court told me that I could apply for DACA. And the moment I applied for DACA, nobody had said that I could not. Therefore, you government, you immigration, have to treat me the way I was supposed to be treated according to the Supreme Court. So all of those who are going to get rejection letters are going to be part of this special class that even if I put myself in the worst case scenario, which means DACA is going to disappear and nobody is going to get that old DACA, there's nobody else can apply for those new DACAs. Those people who get the rejection letters most likely will end up getting their employment authorizations because a judge will tell immigration that they have to be treated according to what the Supreme Court said.
So what you're saying is, one of the questions that we've been having is, if I already sent my DACA application, can ICE come and get me?
No.
Not at all. Hard no, everybody. And it's very important that we understand this, because a lot of our baby dreamers, those are the dreamers that are 15, 16 years old. They're terrified because in those initial applications, they did give their parents' addresses in the majority of the cases. And so please understand, as you're being told, this is not, if you sent it, we're very happy you sent it. Remember, at Dream Big Nevada, we put out our packet about June 20th, June 21st. We had been saying, prepare, because we knew that this administration was going to start doing things that unfortunately were going to harm us and not help us. So with that, one of the questions that we've been trying to get across to people, and we hope that you'll be able to be a little bit better than we have been, is people who didn't renew up until today, what's going to happen to their DACA? Because we heard there's a time change now.
Okay, so the honest answer is, what's going to happen to them? I don't know. Because right now we have this memo that says the employment authorization that we were going to give you for 2 years, it's now going to be only for 1 year. But right now, you and I know that it takes about 7 to 8 months to get an employment authorization. And last week, the government immigration told us that they're not printing employment authorizations. They're sending you the paper that says your application has been approved, but they're not printing them because they don't have money to print employment authorizations, right? So from here, from this memo, if you filed your renewal of DACA today, until the next 7 or 8 months when they approve your DACA, who knows how long the employment authorization is going to be? Because we're going to file lawsuits in the next coming dates. And people are saying, oh, are there really going to be lawsuits? Yes, there are really going to be lawsuits. No question. No questions. I already went on the listservs with my other fellow lawyers and the organizations that normally file the lawsuits, and they're already on their desks typing them. Okay, yes. So the lawsuits are coming. So should you worry today if it's going to be 1 year or 2? You shouldn't. You have to file your renewal, because regardless if it's 1 year or 2 years, the only thing that it's important right now is that you're protected. And remember, DACA is protection from deportation. And so you must file. You must file. You cannot wait to see if it's going to be 1 year or 2 years. No, none of that is important. You need to file your renewal. What it's going to be? Who knows? I'll tell you probably in a week or two, depending on what happens. Another thing that is really important for you, all of you guys, to understand is that fear has not taken us where we are today. So one of the difference between being an undocumented immigrant and being a dreamer is that you guys don't have fear. And that's what makes the dreamer agenda go forward, right? While undocumented immigrants, we live in fear because we don't have any type of protection. Dreamers have a protection from deportation. So if you have a DACA pending, it hasn't been approved, it's pending, it's 10 times better than not having an application for DACA. So
got it. And it's very important for those of us who do have DACA currently. If you want to get involved, send us a message. We definitely, now is the time when we need all of us to not only share our stories, but talk about the things that have happened with DACA, because here in Nevada, there's 14,265 DACA recipients. All of us will be affected by it, and that's not counting the new applications, which are going to be another amount more. And as Kathia has said, we didn't get here because we didn't have fear, or we didn't get here because we had no fear. We got here because we pushed for it. The Obama administration in 2012, when they enacted DACA, which, remember, DACA was not a law. That's why we're at where we're at right now. DACA is not a law. We have to repeat this every single time. DACA is a executive action, and it gives a work permit and relief from deportation, but it was not a law. What we need is a law now. So with that, Kathia, what about people right now who said, you know what, I'm still thinking about applying. What should I do for new applications? Apologies.
I would prepare. I would prepare, because this is not the end. This memorandum, this news of today is just news. So if I would be a dreamer who hasn't applied, I would prepare. I would put myself in contact with a lawyer. I would be close to a lawyer or to an organization like Dream Big Nevada or like Immigrant Home Foundation. I would be close to a place where I can obtain information, and I would start working on getting all my documents and putting them together. Birth certificate, passports, transcripts, school transcripts, university transcripts, my GED certificate, my high school diploma, all the evidence that I've been living here since 2007 and until now. All those things, I would be putting them all together in an envelope, waiting for the moment when I can apply. Because as you can see, things change within a few days. So it makes a big difference if you are prepared or not.
And what would you say for those who already have DACA and need to renew?
Oh, you must renew. You must. You must. You cannot fall out of status.
And what's very important about falling out of status is that many believe that DACA means that you can't be touched, you're untouchable. DACA is a deferral of deportation. So please, you guys, stay out of trouble. We've unfortunately had some dreamers who don't necessarily understand that we're still undocumented. I think it's great that we have DACA, and it's incredible, and we're so appreciative of it, but it is not, it's not a green card. It's not permanent. It's not citizenship. So please remember that DACA is temporary. And so with that, Kathia, one of the questions that we've been having a lot every single time is, I don't have my GED. My GED. Can you explain to us? So what we've been telling folks is that the original DREAM Act, which actually yesterday was its 19th birthday of the initial DREAM Act, the letters stand for Development Relief Education for Alien Minors. Why is a GED so important in this pursuing of a DACA work permit?
Because it's one of the requirements. One of the requirements to be considered for DACA is not only that you came as a kid, it's that you came as a kid and you did something good. And that something good in the government's eyes is either you graduated high school or you got your GED. So you must put yourself within the requirements for DACA. So it's not if you wanted to go to school. No, it's not an option. You don't have the option. It's either you graduated or you got your GED. And so at this point, if you have every other requirement for DACA, but the education requirement, you need to do it. You need to go to the school district of your city, of your town, and find out what GED program you can do online that is accepted by the school district, and you must take it. And you're gonna tell me, I have 10 kids, I have to work, and I am gonna tell you, I know everything that you have, I understand all the complications, but you must do it for those 10 kids and for your ability to obtain a better job and for your ability to be a better person. So no excuses, no excuses. We must do it. Now, you probably say, oh, it's easy for you to say it. You have everything you want. I have to tell you that I know exactly where you are. I went to law school with 1 baby and I finished law school with 3. I was pregnant twice while I was going to law school. So I know what hard work and sacrifice means. And I know that you can do it. So don't give me excuses, just sign up.
Yes. Okay, so one of the questions we have actually in the comments is that they sent in their renewal already. Will it be for 1 year or for 2 years? And I know you said to not worry about the time, but for those that are coming within the next few weeks, do you have any guidance on that?
Well, if they come, if whatever they print tomorrow, probably will be printed for the 1 year. But whatever will be if they print any employment authorization or they approve any employment authorization tomorrow, they will approve for 1 year. And those will be for applications that were filed 7 months ago.
Yes. So right? Does everybody understand that? I know we have a few questions in the comments about that. Please, this is very important for all of you that are asking this question.
So the memo doesn't say it's from today on. The memo says, I am changing the employment authorization to reflect 1 year, not 2. So I am thinking, based on what I've read, that they are going to issue 1 year employment authorizations as of the days of issuance. The day of issuance is the day of the approval. So I imagine that tomorrow they will. Hopefully, they really think this twice and they don't do it until at least the first lawsuit goes through. But who knows, right? If the officer that it's doing these approvals is really anti-immigrant, he's gonna want to show us and give us the 1 year deadline. Or I don't know how will be the policy, what the supervisor is gonna tell the person who approves the DACAs tomorrow. But it doesn't really matter when you filed it. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter if you filed it 7 months ago, if you filed today or tomorrow. We have to go with the day of the approval and what happens on that day.
So we're going to summarize this. If you guys have not applied for your first time DACA, Get your paperwork together. Remember, we gave you a few weeks and told you when to get it, and everybody still came the same day and said, I need my transcript. And CCSD called us and said, we're mailing them out, so taking a few days. So right now, as Kathia has said, right now is your time to get that paperwork together. Be prepared. We don't know what's going to change. Literally, 2 hours ago, I'm looking at my clock, 2 hours ago, this was a completely different world. 3 hours ago, this was a different world. We don't know what happens in 2 hours from now. Be prepared. We know that a lot of you have called us and have said, well, I'm just going to send oh, that reminds me. Kathia, how long do people have to send in their renewals? Because a few of the comments said, I still have to wait the 150 days.
No, we send them 11 months and 29 days before. So the last guidance we have from Inmigration is that they accept them less than 1 year before. So if I would be you, I would be sending them 11 months before.
Yes. So I see some comments. Octaviana, send your DACA. There is no waiting. I know before we used to send it at a certain time. Send it now, this week, tomorrow. All of you who are in the same position, send your DACAs. Ya no es tiempo de esperar. I'm going to say this one in Spanish. No esperen. You need to renew your DACAs now because, again, if this is happening today, we don't know what happens next week. We don't know what happens in a week from now. It is an election year. It's an election summer, which means it's hot and gross in DC and people like to make us suffer. They get the humidity and we get the bad policies. So please renew your DACAs. We are going to be, as you can see, scrolling under us is our DACA packet. Put the paperwork together, get everything ready. I know that Kathia every morning has an incredible Facebook Live. Y para eso es que en español, her Facebook Live, which we will put in the comments, is in Spanish every single day. My hours are once a week. Hers are every single day. And that information is there for you because we are here to give you guys information. And unfortunately, right now, a lot of this is confusion. I mean, I have DACA and I run an organization and I called Kathia and I said, Kathia, what's going on? I called 4 other lawyers and I was like, somebody explain this to me. This isn't easy. It's complicated. But we have to pay attention because it affects our lives. Kathia, one for families, we had a lot of moms and dads who were sending their kids packets. What are some words for them?
Okay, so the first thing, and this goes to all the moms and dads, you don't get anything by calling the organization who helped you fill it out or the lawyer who helped you fill it out or the notario who helped you fill it out. You don't get anything by calling them and stressing with them anything because right now it's outside their hands. So you have to calm down because nobody's going to come and pick up your son or ICE is not going to come to your house. So stop that. The government doesn't have those resources right now, okay? That's one. The government doesn't have resources. Number two, there is a special provision in the DACA executive order that stops the Office of Immigration from sharing information. And so I know we've seen a lot of violations of the things that should happen and don't happen, but right now, I don't think the government wants to get in that kind of problem. So please do not think that you're risking your life, your family's life, because your son had applied and now it's going to be rejected. No, it's not going to happen like that. Okay? If it happens, the outcry, the scandal that we will all do in the media would be so big that it will be against President Trump's campaign. And I don't think they want to go that route. So no, it's not going to happen, okay? Unless, of course, whoever applied had some kind of criminal record, in which case that's completely outside the picture, right? But if you are just a regular dreamer and you applied, nothing bad is going to happen because you applied. I think you did the right thing. I think it's good that you applied. If you are a parent, please calm down and wait and keep the hope, because all of this that is happening with DACA, it's going to end in a law. Sooner or later. I know we've waited so many years, but all of this is it's gonna end up in a law that is gonna help your kids stay legally for good. So if you wanna help, don't let the fear take over you. Let the hope take over you. Grab the phones, call everybody that you know that it's a U.S. citizen and tell them, look what is going on. Could you please prepare to vote and vote pro-immigrant when you vote? You know, I don't get involved in politics. Astrid knows that I'm a very conservative person. I only ask that you vote pro-immigrant. And so as an immigrant yourself, if you are the parent of one of those dreamers, that's what we need to ask. I need to go and ask everybody that I know that it's a U.S. citizen that they vote pro-immigrant, so that when pro-immigrant Congress people and senators go and work, they vote for the DREAM Act. And after they vote for the DREAM Act, it will be super much easier to vote for immigration reform.
Right. Okay, I'm going to repeat this one more time because I'm seeing at the comments. Renew your DACA today. Renew your DACA tomorrow. Renew your DACA week. Months. Renew your DACA now. Kathia, what's going on with it? I think we froze up on her. Advanced parole.
Okay, advanced parole. So advanced parole is, right now they're saying they're not going to give it to anybody unless there is an exceptional circumstance. And as you can imagine, we don't have exceptional circumstances. We're not human. We are, you know, second class. So, so be prepared. Stay away from advanced parole if you can, right? If you can, stay away from advanced parole. Don't apply, because really, out of all the issues that we have, I think new applications and renewals for 2 years are more important than traveling, okay? But if you must travel, if you definitely have this situation that it's super important for you to travel, the only way it's going to be to ask for an emergency advance parole at your local office. So do not apply to the service center for that with that form I-131. Call the 1-800 number at USCIS. Tell the officer of your super terrible emergency and ask that that officer on the phone gives you an appointment to go to your local office. So when you go to the local office, you're going to have the I-131, the fee, and you are going to explain to that officer that sees you your need to have that advance parole. And if you do get it, if you touch the officer's heart and he sees that you have an exceptional circumstance and he gives you the advance parole, please go travel. Your trip has to be as short as possible, because as you can see, we don't know what's going to happen when you are outside. So we don't want you to be outside and something terrible happens and then you can't come back. So if you can stay away from advance parole, stay away. If you cannot stay away and you need to travel, then get the advance parole at your local office.
And please understand, for those of you, we've gotten asks about advanced parole. Dream Big Nevada is not advising to do it. We recommend that you speak to a lawyer if you decide that you want to do advanced parole. We are definitely, as undocumented people, we know how this administration is working. So please think twice. If not, I hope that your travels are very safe. Pero tenemos una pregunta de que en español, este mensaje ya fue por la abogada Kathia Quiros. Pueden ir a Inmigrando con Kathia. Ella hizo todo esto en español. Queremos enfocarnos ahorita en los dreamers que hablan inglés. De nuevo, el link está aquí en los comentarios de Dream Big Nevada. Pueden ir a Inmigrando con Kathia. Donde toda esta información está en español. Sí, sabemos que las dos hablamos español, las dos lo comprendemos completamente, pero recuerden que muchos de sus hijos, muchos de los dreamers no navegan el español bien. Entonces, ahí mismo, ya estoy viendo el link, pueden ir a Inmigrando con Kathia, donde esta información dio una presentación increíble esta mañana a Kathia. Entonces, sí, español está en su página ahorita. Ahorita queremos enfocarnos en aquellos dreamers que a veces no les hablamos a ellos porque ellos hablan inglés mucho mejor. So Kathia, we know that there's going to be a lot of options. We have people in the comments asking us about their DACA that expires in 2021, 2022, people that are going to get married. What happens to the future of all of these dreamers? What is the best options for them to take since many of us do not have a pathway to citizenship?
Well, it all depends on the life of each person, right? So whenever I'm in front of a dreamer and he says, or he or she says, I have a family member that is a U.S. citizen, I always try to find out if that person can file an immigrant visa petition for my dreamer. And so if they're married to a U.S. citizen, can I apply for the green card? If I cannot apply for the green card, can I do the process with the consulate to get the green card? If I cannot do that, then do I have a VAWA case? A VAWA is a victim of domestic violence case. If I cannot do a VAWA case, can I do a U visa case? A U visa is when I was a victim of a violent crime and I filed a police report. I cooperated with the police. If I cannot do a U visa case, do I have a T visa maybe? A T visa is a victim of sex trafficking or labor trafficking. And so if that it's not possible and my dreamer has some kind of a special talent or is highly educated, I try to see if I can do a work visa. If my dreamer has money, I try to see if I can do an investor's visa. So it all depends on the life and the circumstances of each person's life. Yeah, many people will say, oh, how am I going to do an investor's visa or a work visa? Maybe you cannot, but there are some others who can. And maybe you are not married and you don't have a U.S. citizen spouse, and maybe you never was the victim of a crime, but others do, others have. So it's very fact specific. And the best way for you to find out if there is any other chance, any other alternative for you, is for you to talk to a lawyer. And so that I think at this point, if you're a dreamer and you are concerned and you're worried, you get nothing by being worried. Your thoughts are not going to take you anywhere. The best thing you can do is talk to a lawyer. And depending on where you live, you may find organizations that have a lawyer that can talk to you for free, or you can pay a consultation with an immigration lawyer that works in private practice. Whatever it is, talk to someone who knows the law, who knows what questions to ask you. Because if you just talk to your tío, your tía, el compadre, or el llenapapeles, the notario who doesn't know anything about the law, he can tell you whatever he wants, but he doesn't know. And so you're in the same or a worse situation. But if you talk to someone who knows and who can ask you the questions, maybe there is a ray of hope. Maybe there is a way to get out of DACA into something more permanent.
Yes. So everybody remember, for those of you asking us for the information again, the video is going to end shortly, and then you guys can just watch the entire thing all over again. It's going to be here forever and ever and ever until Facebook disappears. So please watch the video again. We've answered so many of your questions. Thank you, Kathia, so much for giving us your time. We know that you've been looking out for our community and answering these very important questions. For those of you that don't follow Dream Big Nevada, please go ahead and like our page. We're going to be, Dulce is right now over there working on graphics. So we're going to be having some more information up. As always, you can go to dreambigmv.org/DACA, where we have our packet, and that gives you all the information of what you need for DACA and the requirements. Page 4. Please, before you call me and ask me if you qualify, read page 4 and then go to one of the accredited service providers or an attorney like Kathia. We do not do this service. I would be a scammer if I took your money. We are a nonprofit organization, so please stop trying to get me to break the rules. I am not going to fill out your DACAs, you guys. So, Kathia, we appreciate your time so much. Again, where can you tell people your page again one more time so that they can go over there, not only for Spanish, but for just incredible information. And also, we're going to keep you guys up to date, because if this changes again this afternoon or tomorrow or the next day, Kathia and I are going to be here ready to go.
Yes. And so I'm on social media as Inmigrando con Kathia, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm live every day at 8:30 in the morning Pacific time. I am live whenever something major happens. I have, if you message me in Messenger the word DACA, I will do the screening for you. I will ask you questions that you can answer to know if you qualify for DACA or not. I have a robot whose name is Nico, and he helps me doing that. And then I also have a link for a questionnaire where you can give me all your information, and I can have one of my lawyers review it and send you an email telling you if you qualify or not. So that's how I'm trying to help all the dreamers that I can, and at the same time, gather their information so I can keep them updated with what's going on. But it's super important that we help each other in social media, that we show everybody where is the information available. So for that reason, I truly recommend to all of you that you follow Dream Big Nevada. We need to support each other, because the more the merrier. The more we are in social media, the more our videos are shown to communities alike, to people alike. So the main reason I like your video or I share your video is not because I really liked it. It's because I know that people like me need to hear the information. So that's why we beg you to share this content today with many, 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 many people. Neither Astrid or I are making a penny at doing any of these. I'm not going to give you my phone number or my address or any of it. We are very blessed in many other ways. And our main goal today is to spread the love, because you receive what you are. And if you are love, and if you are compassion, if you are desire and hope, that's what you're going to get in return. So help us help.
Thank you. And Kathia, we got one of your hashtags for Yo me tapo la boca por ti. So yay! Everybody use their face masks. I have all of mine lying all over my office. They're everywhere. I don't even know. I have
bye to you with my mask.
What happened?
I'm gonna say bye to you with my mask on. Yo me tapo la boca por ti, Astrid.
Gracias. Pónganse las máscaras. Everybody wear your masks and stay tuned for more information. Spanish, go to Inmigrando with Kathia, and we will give you guys more updates later today. Thank you so much.